Am I the a-hole for saying at least at 61 I'm not living in my parents' basement? My ex-partner Mike, 55M, and I, 54F, broke up because he hated that my kids moved back in with me. Unfortunately, due to the cost of, well, everything, my children had to move back in. I live with my 6 kids and grandchild, 31M, 32F, 2M, 27M, 26F, 25F, 15M. Once my son and his wife told me they were struggling. I told Mike, and then I asked him to make time to move his junk out because I wanted to convert the basement into a separate living space for my son and his then pregnant wife. This didn't sit well with Mike because he had plans to convert it for himself, but he had been saying that for years and never did anything. After some arguing back and forth, we left it at that. Eventually my son and pregnant daughter-in-law moved in. Then after months of planning and hard work, my son and I converted the basement into a decent-sized 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment with its own kitchen, dining space and laundry room. Right in time for my grandson's birth. A year later my other son was let go, and he also moved back into his old bedroom. Then one by one my girls also moved back into their old bedrooms. All my kids are saving up so they can eventually buy their own homes without being dragged down by debt. I am beyond happy to have my kids back home and love having us all together. My teenage son is also happy about it. He gets to hang out with his siblings instead of feeling left out due to the large age gap between them. The only person unhappy about this arrangement was Mike. Mike has a very lift yourself by your bootstraps mentality and feels my kids are weak for having to move back in, despite my many attempts of explaining how the pandemic and the recession has had a hard impact on people's lives. My kids also don't pay rent. This really pissed Mike off, not because it would mean he had to pay for things, but because he just didn't agree. I didn't and still don't want them to. I want them to save as much as they can. My kids are responsible people and I know how their finances are set up. I know what their financial goals are because I helped them create it. At the end of our relationship, Mike was constantly making me and my kids feel like that. He was constantly nagging and belittling them in their own home. I finally had enough of his behavior, and after a really bad argument we broke up. Mike moved out. It's been nearly a year and Mike is married. He's living in his parents' basement with his pregnant wife. I recently saw him at a mutual friend's dinner and get-together, where Mike spent the majority of his time making snide remarks and backhanded compliments towards me. At one point he said, and I'm paraphrasing here, that younger foreign women make really good girlfriends and wives. I eventually had enough and said, that may be true, but at least at 55 I'm not living in my parents' basement. This really got to him and he was pretty withdrawn the rest of the evening. Our mutual friends told me that what I said really hurt Mike because he recently lost his job and was struggling with the cost of everything. Edit 1. Mike never paid for my kids. He never paid my bills. I have always worked and I completely cover my own cost and pay for myself. I pay my bills and everything else. I have never taken a penny from Mike. We have always had a pay your own way kind of relationship. And I have always paid for my own way. Mike only lived with me and my kids for almost 2 years before we broke up. Edit 2. My kids are all working and in education. I want them to save enough money so they can buy their own homes. So they can have a more financially secure future. Also, I don't know why the title is incorrect. Edit 3. Mike could have just been civil to me like I was to him, but he chose to make rude and underhanded remarks about me at the dinner. So yes, I threw back his own words at him.